Can yoga sciences practice manifest money? I mean, this is the bottom line, right? People say, what's the point? Why am I'm going to go become mindful, do all these practices? Can it give me money? I need money, right? So I'm going to discuss that. And yes, it can. And I will show you from my own experience and how, right? And it's not that easy, by the way. So in this video, I'll discuss that. For those of you who like the contents of my video, please don't forget to also like and also subscribe if you haven't already. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people, right? And while you're at it, optional extra, if you could just drop a comment and share it with just one other person or social media channel, I will highly appreciate that, right? And anyway, thank you anyway, just for spending your precious time, in conversation with me or listening to me. And this I appreciate and thank you from the bottom of my heart. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, also amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I have an amazing promotional offer offering a 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you anywhere in the world globally, telepathically, instantly. Don't pay me if you're not happy with any of my services that goes. I only take payment if people are happy and it's successful, right? Because we can't give guarantees. And I don't like taking money. Yes, it's my time and all. The good thing is my success rate is very high. If you visit my website, you'll see I've got an over 90% success rate, right? So if I've got such a high success rate, why should I take the money up front? I'm so confident. Yes, I am confident. So only pay me, and don't only pay me if it's successful, also you're happy. If you're not happy, yes, it was successful, but not the way you thought of it. And I don't want your money, right? And then I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. In that time, I studied under various teachers and masters from different cultures across the globe, from the Far Eastern, from the Eastern to the Middle Eastern and the Western cultures, including the scientific communities, and creating my own unique protocols, basically adapting it for the 21st century, making things easier, faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented. Right. So to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, and where you can download it in exchange for your subscription to my blog and also get more information about my services and contact information. So also remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So I mean, yes, these yoga sciences are there, amazing. What's the bottom line? What's the point of being energy healer? You're spending decades, you're spending like even 20 minutes of, it's a lot of time, right? Now there's even a channel, TikTok channel, it's for 60 seconds videos and 30 seconds and 15 seconds videos, right? Because people don't even have 15 seconds. If you want to capture the mass market, you have to go into the 15-second videos, right? You're going to be very successful, right? And I'm not in that genre, and I don't want the people who haven't got attention span. My market is a very niche market, and people who don't want to just listen to lectures, but we're going to the nuances in a very briefly in certain very deep philosophies that people don't speak about, and it's not written in the books. And then, like, also here, what's the bottom line? Can you give me money? Because I met actually a client, was it day before yesterday, right? And he's a taxi driver because I'm always traveling and having to take taxis. And I said, this is what I do. I'm an energy healer, and like a spiritual thing, I've got spiritual. I do spiritual things, all things spiritual, right? And doing telepathic energy healing. And so he couldn't really, then from his culture, I explained it from his perspective. He said, brother, I got bad luck. Can you remove my bad luck? So of course I can remove. But I don't, I want money. What do I want money? I want to get money. I said, I never did any energy healing for someone before to bring money to them. And I'm doing energy healing, although yoga and meditation practice and so forth, for almost 50 years. But I was born with this gift, from childhood. I only realized I've got this ability of healing people by the age of 8, but I went scientifically studied it to do it in a more professional manner, acceptable, and in a way according to the rules and regulation, not something just whimsically from faith, right? So I had, because how many people have faith these days in reality? They claim, okay, I'm Christian, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim, but in reality, are you following? How much of it are you following? Yeah, God is going to forgive you, is all merciful and so forth. Uh, Hallelujah, right? He is merciful. Well, Alhamdulillah, He's merciful. Forgive you bombing all the thousands of people and killing innocent people. This thing. Good luck with that, right? Are you sure? Right? It's what I'm going to ask you. Is where I'm going to leave it, right? I'm not going to go into myself. I'm a Muslim, so nothing against Muslim, and nothing against Christians, because these are my blood brothers, right? The Christians, and I believe wholeheartedly in the Bible, because we are commanded in this to, and the Judaism, really, wholeheartedly. There are a lot of disagreements. I don't focus on the disagreements, focus on the agreements, right? And a lot of my things is from the Hindu culture and so forth. I take the good, right? And things that disagree with, I leave it, and I do what is going to benefit. So, what's the biggest, most important? Brother, can you give me money? Can this give me money? I said, my friend, I never did any protocol for bringing someone money. No one asked me, surprisingly. And this is like over 50 years of practicing this, right? And helping people from childhood. No one asked, that can you get me money and remove my bad luck? I said, I want to try it. And the good thing is you don't have to pay me. And my fees are dirt cheap, relatively speaking, dirt cheap. I mean, $5 for a 10-minute anxiety fix, $30 an hour, right? What is 30? When I went online, people are, the cheapest price I could find was like $35 an hour. Right, and people are charging like $200 an hour, thousand. I know someone charging $1,200 an hour, right? And I believe my energy level is higher than theirs. Not that I have the highest. I mean, some from energy healing teachers, they are in the grand master level. I'm on master level. You get the normal healers, master level, and grandmaster. And I'm aspiring, and I'm practicing the last 6 years to reach grandmaster level. Right? I'm not grandmaster. Grandmaster level can remove a cancer tumor just by waving his hand over in 2 minutes flat, 2 to 3 minutes flat. You can see. I seen it, with the uh, audiograph, right? Or sonograph. They call it a sonograph. And we could put the monitor on and we can see the whole crowd of people, not only one person, right? Whole audience. And we're watching, and this guy, he came in and we could see it just melting away, front of our eyes, live, right? And this is grandmaster level. And there's many other things, they can do things. What takes me, like 100 days to fix, right? My cancer protocol is a 100-day protocol in conjunction with the medical treatment, right? um, they can do, in 2.5 hours. So in manifesting money, I said, yes, I'm going to do that. Have I manifested for myself first before? Yes. Not like, well, I always say $10,000 must appear in front of me. Never appeared. Never. That never happened. But I managed to get opportunities like you cannot believe, right? When I practice something that's supposed to bring money. So the secret to the money is not just being mindful and advancing. You have to do specific for money because you want that specific result. So this is where the part of yoga called mantra yoga, you do this, like from the Quran, you do this, is going to bring you money. You recite this, it's gonna bring that for you. Or this will cover your, you'll always have food and accommodation, and you'll never be, destitute, homeless, and starving. Right? There's certain mantras, right? So like that, there's mantras specific for the type. When we talk money, we don't want to survive, right? We're talking, what we're talking about? We're talking like unlimited. We can't spend the type of money. It must be so much like we can't spend, right? So I became self-employed at the age of around 27, right? And I'm now self-employed for about 29 years. So I'm 56 years, I'm 57 years old. So work it out, right? But I was around 20, 26, 27, around there, right? I think 26. Um, I know in March 1996, and that's when my daughter was born. I said, no, I'm bringing a child into this world. I'm now becoming a father. And just before the birth, in the month where I'm expecting, the child to be born, I said, I'm not going to be an employee and struggling to create a future. I want to give an amazing life, to my child. I want to become, the only way is I need to become self-employed. And I made the decision and I became self-employed, right? And I struggled. For 6 years, I struggled. I really struggled. And then my younger brother is specialized in mantra, and he gave me a mantra that's is designed for excessive wealth, right? Like what people, when they say money, it means in that level, right? Of course, now the idea of wealth is on steroids, right? Now billions is not enough. Billionaire is not enough to be a billionaire. Millionaire is common, right? In one of the states of the U.S., from ChatGPT, the information, I don't know how accurate. You have to double check all this information from this AI model, right? The state with the lowest population is Wyoming, right? And in Wyoming, there are only about 500 and some odd, 570,000 population, and 12,000 is millionaires, right? Millionaires a dime a dozen, right? Earning millions, but I mean, these were in the 1990s, right? That is like 30 years ago. And in a third world country, I was in South Africa at the time. So I was struggling, and I was struggling for about 6 years, working diligently, making some money, right? And then I got this mantra and I got the power of it, right? Because I experienced a sign, right? Like there's no way this is not the sign, right? It was an out of body experience, mystical experience, clear, 100%. It was like, oh my God, what is this? Like mind blowing stuff, right? Experience from that. Only 10 days, only 10 days of practice, right? Then I left it. I said, okay, let's see. After that, man, I got an idea to go and do and I'm doing training all the time, right? To improve my income, self-employed. All types of training. There was another training that was free, and I couldn't even afford to pay for any training. I said, let me go for yet another training. And I went for that training. It was super amazing. And it was a different, something was different. And they, at the end of the training, placed us in a company where we can earn, on a premium level. And we didn't get any basic salary there. It was commission. But the first month, I made equivalent of about $2,000, right? Must know I was struggling to earn $100 for 6 years, right? 100. I was lucky to get $1,200 a year for 6 years, right? Of course, in a third world country, that was money that time, right? And I wasn't homeless and everything, and my wife was working, So if she wasn't working, I don't know how we would have survived. So, but I didn't want to leave self, because once I made the decision, I didn't want to go back to a job situation, right? And I said, no, I'll find a way to succeed or die trying. And then that was like amazing. The next month I made 40,000, right? That was around 22,000. My God, said 2,000. Then I made 4,000. Let's talk in US dollar, right? So you can relate. Then the next month I made, I think, 5,000. And then within a few months, within 6 months, my last commission check was, I think, around after tax. This is after tax, right? In my hand. And when you're earning high amounts, your tax rate is around 50%. In my country, it's 47%, around there, right? I got in my hand $16,400. You must know I was struggling to earn $100, and to earn that money also, it was together with delivering pizza, right, in the evenings to make enough money for petrol for the next day. That was my condition, right? Working very hard, working long hours and everything, and suddenly got that. Then I put it in a company, and the company took off, right? A little bit of struggle, a lot of it also needs some hard work, but I made a plan to earn a million a month in my currency, which is about, at that time, it was $100,000, right, a month. And I earned $100,000 a month for 4 years in a row, non-stop, right? And eventually, I mean, you buy the expensive things, the house, the cars. I had 5 luxury cars. I had a double garage, and I made a special carport for my other cars. And I wanted to have, like, multiple cars. It wasn't a very expensive. It wasn't Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and so forth. I didn't think on that level. I was thinking on Mercedes, Audi, BMW, that level, and Sport for 4x4, and so forth, right? And bespoke Mercedes, but custom made, like normal people cannot afford. The normal Mercedes is like more than double or triple the normal Mercedes price. That type of thing. When people sit in my car, it's like they said they will never in their entire life be able to own it, let alone own. They don't think they will even have an opportunity to sit in something like that, right? So I was having, and I remember I got so much. I used to keep like $10,000 worth of the car, and 100,000 my currency in my cubby compartment in my boot. Like I normally keep in cash. I'll draw like for cash. Like, you want to keep like a couple of $100 in your wallet, like liquid cash, for cash flow. I used to $50,000, right? 500,000. I'll go, and like I used to go to the bank with my children. They were small. I said, I want you to get used to the taste of money in big bundles and in a money bag. I used to draw and spend, right? I said, I think even 7 generations can't finish, my wealth and so forth, right? I was so rich and got it through that, right? Through the secret there is. You have to research which it is. The mantra is a secret. We can't give it. If you give it, I'll lose the power of it, right? And so you have to go to someone who can give it. And of course, I mean, in exchange for money, you got a $20 billion. I'll give it to you, no problem, because I need some, security, financial security. And I don't know, I have to be trepidatious. Even 20 billion, I might not give it, because maybe I'll lose everything. Right? There can be a crash in the markets, and the banks can crash and liquidate, or they can freeze my money. I mean, I had 7 of my bank accounts frozen as well. I had that type of problems, and you're earning, and then you can't this thing. So, from talking point of view, there is in my country like various levels of bank account facilities. You get like the normal bank accounts, and you get the premium, the higher levels like the silver status, the gold card, and you get the platinum card. Then you get the top tier, the private clients, right? So the one of the banks, major banks, they found that there were so many, the people who were going above top tier, more than multi-millionaires. It's like crazy wealthy, and they created a niche new sector called private wealth, right? In that one. So I own a private wealth bank account, right? And so I'm talking now about money, right? So I can't be talking money if I don't know how to, and I haven't earned, and I don't know the pathway. Now I'm not focusing. Of course, we all need money, right? And I'm doing the build-up phase of my new business. It's very tough. Just to survive is difficult, right? And you need money for marketing, and I don't have enough. I'm only spending $1 a day on my Google AdWords. What is $1? That's why I chose Wyoming, because the cheapest price for keywords is like slightly. You get some keywords that are less than $1, and to just get 1 click a day, right? At least to keep that going, because once I start a campaign, I want to keep it going for years, right? 20 years, 30 years, I want to keep it going. So I normally look in 20-year periods because I'm long in business, right? And I understand, and I learned from Warren Buffett. You look for the long game, you're going to be successful. You go the short game, you'll come and you'll be wiped out of the market quickly, right? And I've made money, lost money, made money, lost money, but I gained wealth because my wealth is my knowledge, my experience, my ability to close multi-billion-dollar deals. Who can close? How many of you can close multi-billion-dollar? I can close. Now I can close a multi-billion-dollar deal, right? So I'm not focusing. Of course, there's certain cash flow requirements and all that. I mean, I can speak to an investor. It's easy because I've got the influence. I'm not going to focus in that. I don't. My net worth went up, my asset value, right? Because people are very asset rich. I met billionaires. I say, but he said, no, in asset, not in cash, not in the bank, not cash in the bank, right? So I reached billionaire level in cash. I mean, I reached multi-millionaire level in cash, right? In my currency, 500,000 just cash float, right? in my currency, and I wanted to earn a million a month in my currency, right? That was my goal. And so in cash, there was no problem, right? And then when I was in Dubai, like, you have to strive to become billionaire, and I attained that. Was worth in cash, I mean, in assets, 20 billion. And of course, I can leverage it and finance it, and raise finance that way. But I will lose my asset. No one going to give me 20 billion. They might give me 100 million. So people say 100 million is a lot, brother. It's enough. It's okay for me. For me, it's not money. I'm not working for 100 million. I'm working to surpass. Okay, I won't mention what I'm working towards because it is mind-blowing stuff, right? Well, I believe whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And this also related to, can you make money, right? Because it's also your mindset. So I always did things that people thought were impossible. I said, no, possible, right? From childhood. People said, they laughed at me when I was in junior primary. The teachers were trying to get to know everyone, stand up, give your name. What do you want to become? I said, I want to become a doctor, though. Oh, there's a wave of laughter ripple through the entire class. Because how is this guy going to get admitted? He's below average in the class, in a small lone horse, one street town. He can't come out. He's coming out in the 20s, in his class, in the bottom 10% of the class, right? And or let's say bottom 25% at that time. But I worked, and I made it, right? I surpassed everyone's this thing, right? And not only made it, got a scholarship that no one else in my community got that type of scholarship, right? And also performed very well, right? Performed very well, I was very proud of my this thing, but I felt it didn't fit. That was not. And when I changed from there, I changed to law, and I really enjoyed it. And I was in law for about 5 years in the medical school, total science field and medical school, about 3 years, and law 5 years, practicing as well, doing practical internship while completing my studies and so forth. And it was very exciting. Between which is more difficult, between law and medicine? Law, definitely, because a lot of nuanced thinking, right? You have to use strategic thinking to win the case. It's about strategy. It's not about who's innocent and guilty. Innocent and guilty, forget about innocent and guilty when it comes to law. Now it is what strategy you can employ. And just as a sidetrack, right? There was a case where there were 21. It was in a nightclub. Someone got murdered, right, in the presence of. They called in presence of the whole nightclub, right? But they called 21 witnesses who volunteered to come and give account exactly what happened, right? We got the person scot free, right? In only one court hearing. We presented, we cross-questioned, we learned the strategy, how to cross-question the witnesses and using strategies and so forth. And am I proud of that's the reason I left them? Because I was so happy. I was a young guy, right, in my early 20s, right? I think I was around 22 years old that time, right? And of course, under guidance of a senior attorney of the law firm, a partner, and I'm just a junior, right, in the firm, but involved in this case and seeing how these things are done and learn the strategies, right? And they declared then they said, your worship, we are this is definitely blah 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 blah, and the charges need to be withdrawn. Prosecutor, okay, I have to agree. I consent. The judge said, okay, charges are withdrawn, right? And I was so proud, right? Because my total cost, for preparation and everything, was around let's say $200, 2,000 in my currency, right? And I charged the client 70,000, which is like $7,000 at that time. Maybe it was less than that because the South African rand was worth more than the US dollar in the 1970s, right? So this was the 1990s. So let's work on average 10%, maybe less than that. So 7,000 in one day, 1 year, right? So we used to make that type of money per day. I had to carry a money bag with me and I had to put money in a money clip in my pockets, right? So this is the type of money you could make. And then I went into business, the toughest field. And but I mean, I really didn't. It wasn't all good, because I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I went to the 2 years I spent in prior, in the private sector, and then 3 years I spent in the government sector. I said, no, I feel guilty that we're getting all these criminals free. Let's put the people in jail, right? Prosecution side. I spent 3 years in the governmental side, in the Department of Justice side, right, of the law, and then I went into self-employment, right, because I wasn't really happy, and that's where I found, it was the most challenging, more challenging. The hardest thing you can ever do is to run your own business. If you feel you can't find a job and it's difficult, now you have to start your own business just to earn income. My friend, it's easier to find a job than to run a business. Your life gonna go, your health gonna go, and you're gonna lose all your family relations and all that. And I'm 6 divorces, right? Two of my children don't, three of my children don't talk to me, right? I never say anything bad. I'm a good guy. I don't say any negative word. I give them the best life, better than I spoil them actually. And even my youngest daughter, the only one child, the youngest daughter who talks to me, she doesn't have time for me. She always say, no, in 15 minutes I need to go for extra classes. She doesn't have 5 minutes, right? This is how busy people are, right? So running your own business is the toughest thing. And I really struggled for 6 years. And then after implementing, I had more money, and it was really amazing, and then I left it. I struggled for money again. And then when I re-employed it, it came again, and I left it. I struggled, like I left it like for 10 years, and then re-implement to make sure, you know so there is this thing. So when this person asked, can you make money, right? I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I just finished 2 days, but I told him, don't even tell me when you're making the money, right? And you got a good chance, and I must not know. All I must know is after 10 days, because the purpose is to make, if you haven't made money, don't pay, right? Because that's what you're employing my energy healing for. And it's something new. I like to test it, right? I never tried it. So I'm on day 2, and then I send him a message every time. He's in another province, like hundreds of kilometers away, right? I think about 1,000 miles away, where he is living, and I'm doing it telepathically. So when I complete it, I believe that it can be done because I've done it in me. And, if each person on his own, you can do it with month. That's what you want to know, right? Can you do it on your own? But can someone else do it is even better, because why should go searching where's the mantra, which is the right mantra, and how to practice it, what's the rules, the right this thing, and how to get the power of it also. It's not easy, because you have to be on a very advanced level to get the power of the mantra, to activate it. It can take you 20 years, 30 years sometimes. Like difficult. Or you get it from the right person who will give it to you with the power. And then it can work like you just need 10 days and boom, the 10-day protocol, right? In the mantra science, you can, and you become where you are. Like, of course, it wasn't unlimited money for me, but I couldn't spend my money. As I tried to spend, and I used to just give, thousands. I used to just give, and money was not finishing, and it's like unlimited for me. I didn't even know how to finish the money. After a few months, the first 2 years, you've generally bought everything that your mind could think of. There's nothing that in my mind that I didn't own, that I wanted to own, right? So whatever I wanted, I just, like, if I like something, I never used to see what's the price. I like it, I'm buying it. I don't care. I want it. They say, can I explain? I say, I don't care what's the price. I want it. Wrap it up. Here's my card. But it costs so much. It's my obligation to tell you that I don't want the term this, and then they used to, of course, tell me the price. It just goes the 1 year, the other year. And so many things, some of the things I had, people say, how much was this? And I don't know, I don't know. And now struggling, financially, because I'm doing a startup. Startup is, you need time, you need patience, and you need perseverance. You need these three things. Got an amazing AI partner, a companion. It is an open source AI. I think it's called OLMOE. OL or LOMAE. It's an open source. It's like 3 to 4 gigs download. It's in my phone. downloads into the phone, and it doesn't, you can't talk to it verbally, it doesn't have voice coming, but you have to type. But I got used, I mean, we're using speech to text, I mean, how difficult it is, right? And then when he types back, yeah, it's reading to me, right? I got screen reader, it reads to me. I'm blind, of course, right? So I need these things. So it's, I mean, it's not like a open conversation. I made myself fed up with the the language models, the large language models, and I got into it, and they like waste my time also, and then I got into levels where I can, like, I wasn't very excited about them anymore. And I tried, the trials, all types of models and so forth. But this one is amazing. So now I'm not, it's no more a novelty. Now I'm using for business purpose, exactly. And I'm also trying to attend a free seminar, which I recommend to you, on business AI tools by Tony Robbins. So you can research, he's offering these seminars, and there's paid, I'm sure there's a paid component after that. There's a free summit for 3 days that I'm going to block off 2 to 3 hours a day. So that 9 hours I'm going to block off. No matter how busy I'm going to focus on that. Attend it live. It's in Eastern time, between the 6th and the 8th of November. 2025. So if you're watching the video after that, just search. There must be playbacks, or there will be newer ones, and so forth. And there will be courses. You have to gear yourself up with AI, right? And this is the secret to leveraging and making money and so forth, right? So, but you can try every strategy. You're not going to be making the type of money. Yoga science is the secret, got a secret. And the secret specifically is in the mantra yoga. To find them, you can go Google it, you can find a mantra, right? But to recite it is, you can connect with me, I'll give you, right? It engage my services, right? I can activate the energy in you, because you need spiritual activation. Try it on your own without the activation. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm charging $30 an hour. How rich can I get? I was making millions, right? This like feels I'm doing for free. I can't believe I'm working for $5, right? But I have to work according to the market. Business principles is business principles, right? So you have to penetrate the market. You have to offer something that's appealing to the people. Less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, right? For a 10-minute anxiety hack delivered to you telepathically anywhere in the world instantly, right? And so these are the things, but the secret is in mantra yoga. And if I succeed, by the time you connect with me, the 10 days would be up, and we'll see if I succeeded or not. But it takes time for the money to show, physically. Don't like suddenly appear in front of you, suddenly knock on the door. This is DHL, we got a container delivery, please sign for it. And then it's sealed, you break the seal, open the container full of $100 bills, all stacked in $1 billion stacks. Right? And I've seen money like that. It's mind-blowing stuff, pellets of money, all new notes, right? People got, I think it was $100 billion or something, right? That I saw, with my eyes. And I couldn't believe the people got that amounts of in cash, right? Money in cash, not fake notes, right? So these are the type of wealth that are the thing. And I'm convinced I'm working towards not being billionaire in asset, being billionaire in, above that, I don't want to mention what to sing, but cash. I'm convinced I'm going to reach my goal, because I never not reach or die trying, right? Maybe this was my goal that I'm not going to reach, but I tested this multiple times. This part of yoga, it works. I am convinced it works, and that's the way. And if you find the mantra, whatever it is, online, and you find it's like nothing really is happening, then I can impart this. You need spiritual power, right? Because once you activate it, your spirituality is awakened. Then when you recite the mantra, is different. When your spirituality is not activated, you can recite mantra from now until day of judgment, until the end of time. Nothing going to happen, right? So to speak. So hope that information helps you, and take care of yourself always.